Lou here, and in today's video, I have a really cool surprise for you. It is an interview with someone who is totally rocking out her businesses. But before we get in, please make sure to check the description below for all the links, resources, programs, and free material that I have for you, as well as our guest today. Her links are below, and you can connect with her there as well. So, I want to introduce you to Kate Moir. She is an amazing business coach who started off her entire, what I'm going to call empire, by starting a side hustle while she had a full time business about 6, 7 years ago. And now Kate aims to empower, support, inspire other women that have side hustles, indirect sales, to help them grow their dreams. And what she basically says is the best thing that she can do to help people is to hear what their wishes are for their lives, to empower them to move forward so that they can start making their wish their reality. Kate's business is Impact Over Image, and I can't wait for you to meet her. So let's dive right in. Kate, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you today?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for being on my channel. I'm so excited. You are officially my first interview.
Well, thank you for asking. I really appreciate it.
This is like, we haven't talked in so long. And so this past weekend, we were chatting back and forth, and I'm like, do you want to just do this weekend? And Kate goes, yeah, I can do Sunday morning. And I'm like, oh, perfect, because I'll put it out on Monday. So it's very, very impromptu interview, but I am so excited to talk to you and also to share some of your journey and your amazing successes and failures, because we both know
Mhm.
success doesn't come without failure,
Right.
with this amazing community. So, I did a small intro for you in the beginning, but why don't you tell our viewers more about you?
All right. Well, I'm a wife, a mother. I've got two little kids. They're 5 and 6. We just moved to our dream property, all thanks to the flexible income that I have been able to create for our family, and have the ability to relocate just based on desire versus needing to require a transfer. So, way back in the day, I thought I would be the CEO of a company or a municipality, that I was going to be this top person. And after I had my children, was like, I don't want to work 60 hours a week for someone else. I want to be able to have a flexible schedule that provides enough financially for me to be a present mother and wife, right? So the perfect kind of trifecta, right? And so the money, the family, the fun, I wanted it all. And so I entered into a direct sales business or network marketing. People call it different things. And at first, it was just to get off the couch. I wanted to get out of the recliner, stop spending every night, nursing my baby. I wanted to go and do something for me that was fun with some friends and could make a little extra money too. Fast forward over time, our business grew so much in the first year that I was really working two full-time jobs. I had a team of 150. I had a full-time job, 9 to 5, and I was trying to be that perfect wife and mother, and something was going to give, and it was probably going to be me. So I had to make a choice. And we decided to lean in to my direct sales business and see where it went. And that was a really big risk at the time. I met with my financial advisor. We had a conversation about it, and we decided, yes, it is the right move for our family. So over the last couple of years, I've been able to say yes to more fun with our friends and family, say yes to that vacation to see, family in Alberta and BC on the other side of the country from me, without having to ask for permission. And that empowerment has really been able to make me stand a little bit taller and more confident as a person, wife, mother, and business owner. So over the years, our business has continued to grow, and we were able to identify and pivot quickly when everything shifted in 2020 to online. and I was working less, 75% less, and I was increasing my sales online by 800%. And so at that point in time, a lot of people were asking for questions. And with your guidance back in November of 2020, I was able to create that plan and launch in about 5 days a new business, impactoverimage.com. And now I inspire and coach and mentor direct sellers who want to systemize, duplicate, and elevate their income by working smarter, not harder.
That's but I'm just what you've done since November has been incredible. Because I remember back in November when you're like, "Can I book a call with you? I need to, like, talk things out." And with it from that call, within, like, 5 days, you launched this coaching business. And what I do wanna touch on a little bit is before we get into that, you were actually working a full-time job, and then you decided to side hustle.
Mhm.
So I want you to go back there because you just took everybody through the journey, but I want to touch on a few things because one thing that I'm a huge advocate for is side hustles. Whether you're employed, have your own business, I always believe in having that side hustle. How hard was it for you to start the direct sales side hustle while you were working a full-time job? Can you put your mindset back in that moment? And
Yeah,
what it felt
absolutely. I
like?
think at first I was nervous that no one would support me. I was nervous that people would laugh at me or judge me, but I was impressed that if it came from a place of service, how can I solve a solution for my friends and family with the product that I was passionate about? It was a lot easier because it didn't feel spammy. I didn't want to be a salesperson, but I just loved connecting and building relationships. So, coming from a place of service and wanting to build relationships, it wasn't ever uncomfortable to reach out because I didn't feel as though I was looking or hunting for the sale. Instead, I was trying to help or play, give advice or ideas or suggestions to people who I cared a lot about. And so over time, it became more fun and more addicting because as people were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like this item changed my life, or this item solved the solution I didn't even know I'd had a problem with, it was just so rewarding, but it also lifted my spirits. My husband noticed a difference, not only financially, but emotionally. Like I was happier, I was more fulfilled. I wasn't coming home, cooking dinner, cleaning, doing dishes, sitting on the couch and then going to bed feeling like I'm just existing, not living. So I was living. Like I feel like it really brought me back as a person versus just a wife and just a mother. Like I was also Kate.
It gave you more purpose
Yeah.
to live. Isn't that incredible? Like, no matter what company you work with or what side hustle you start, it gives you more purpose,
Mhm.
right? So, how long did it take you from starting the side hustle to actually seeing a significant increase in your finances?
Ooh, I love looking at numbers now. I used to hate it, but I love to look at numbers and to evaluate. And so, the first 6 months was totally pocket change, bottle of wine money, or going and getting my hair done or nails done, guilt free for sure. But in April of 2016, my daughter was born, my second daughter, Caroline. And I had a conversation with my uplines, and I was close to promoting. And one said, enjoy this time, take the time off. And the other one said, well, what if you leaned in while you're at home? Like, where could you go with your business? And I thought, I'm going to see what can I do over the next 12 months while I'm at home with two kids to see where it would take me. And in that year, we had grown from 6 people to 150 people. And when I went back to work, I was making the same amount as what I made full time. And so, really, I think it was the mindset shift of, you know, this could be something that I had never dreamed of. I don't think most people get into it thinking, I'm going to quit my job. That's usually not the case. And a lot of people are happy living for that manicure, hair, clothes, money, for sure. But for me, it was that freedom that I was after. I was after the flexibility and the freedom, and the finances to be able to um, do this for my family and for myself.
That's crazy. So mat leave, you built a company. Basically, it's like a company. Your downline was 150 people?
150,
That was
yeah.
in 2016.
And I think it was because I wasn't interested in that year of making money because I was on maternity leave. So I shared the opportunity with any person, and we come from a place again from service of how can this impact their lives, what it could do for them and their family or their self esteem. It was just so much easier to share because I was passionate, I was having fun. People wanted a part of that, and I wanted to share it with those people. Like I wanted to share it with anyone that I wanted, anyone that wanted to ask me questions. Feel free because I was just in a place of service and growth mindset.
And you were in a place of happiness because you had this beautiful baby and you were home with your family.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you are in joy, that money comes to you more easily and naturally?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily money. I would say the opportunities to produce. Yep, absolutely. Because the doors were opened. When I get to the point, like there's always highs and lows in any business. And when you get into a low, it's easy to live there and have that scarcity mindset and feast and famine and trying to, like pull any kind of string or low hanging fruit you can because you want to get back to the high. But when I just have faith, like, okay, this is the little blip, it happens naturally, and just continue that mind of abundance and opportunity, like we get back to the high before any time at all, right? So I think it's that mindset shift of knowing it's okay, this is natural, but knowing that you can pivot at any second and you can be back up at the top.
So from 2016 to 2020, you grew like end of 2020, you grew a massive team.
Mhm.
So tell us about that and then I'm going to come back to the pivot question. So tell us like where you are now. So where we're at 17, 18, 19, 20. So like 4.5, 5 years, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's results are differently. So always look at the company that you're considering or the side gig that you're looking at and look at the standard earnings, for sure, because it's all over the place. But for me and my team, we went into 2020 with a growth mindset, and we were able to bring in another 180 people over the last 12 months during the pandemic. We were a home party kind of crew. And in March of 2020, we couldn't do home parties anymore. And so a lot of people said, my business is over. And our team was, our business is just starting, it's just switching into a different direction. And so quickly pivoting to online, social marketing or social network or whatever you want to call it, social retail, we were able to grow, and our team is finishing out with one of our best years yet. So that is during a time when a lot of people couldn't say the same thing
Yeah.
because their mindset didn't switch, didn't pivot, didn't accept the challenge in the situation and see it as an opportunity for what could possibly be.
So between 2016 and now, we talked about highs and lows, right? And you talked about when you're in a low, you pivot. What are some things you did to get yourself out of that funky low that you might have been in?
Often I would go and try to find a few friends that were experts in something that I needed to learn and able to pivot. So whether it was For example, I was a home party gal 99% of the time. I loathed online parties, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do those. I'd give them away to somebody else. And when I had to pivot, for example, I found people, okay, who's crushing it on the online world, and how can I learn from them and share my own talents with them? So it was really a great way to level up. So they always say, try to be the dumbest person out of your crew, because you want to be able to level up to the smartest person in the room. And if you're the smartest, you need to find a new room so that you can grow. I think that's what I do when I get into a low is, what do I need to do to get out, find those people, and connect with them so that I can continue to grow.
And when you connect with those people, is it someone that you can physically talk to? If we were allowed to do stuff in person, you could like touch them? And or is it like going to YouTube and finding those motivational videos? Like I turn to Gary V when I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work, right? I don't know if it's gonna, and then I get Gary V on YouTube and he's telling me, stop watching my videos, go do something. And I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah. And it just perks me up a little bit. Or I'll find some music. What avenues did you take to surround yourself with those people?
I think it's all of the above. So I feel as though it is the mind, body, and spirit. And so for me, it's okay, I'm probably slacking on my walking or my exercise, because then I don't have the energy to get through my day. So I'll turn on a motivational video of somebody who has crushed it in their fitness journey, and I'll watch them as I walk, or I'll listen to some really great music to pump myself up and get through that workout. So generally when I'm in a low, I feel I have to take care of me first, because that's part of it. Then my mind, I love some YouTube videos and weekend seminars or virtual learning opportunities or podcasts or audible books, or even actually picking up a hardcover book. I know it's shocking, but like picking up a book and reading a book helps, or getting into a network of people as well. So that really fills my cup, is connection with humans, actually talking and brainstorming with people. And so, whether it's a women's network or a group of friends that we can kind of get together and get unstuck, I think that's the whole trifecta for me, is the mind, the body, and the spirit.
And how do you deal with competition?
I'm not a competitive person. So a lot of times people say, oh, like, they don't want to tell you where they're at for the year because it's super like secretive, because they might be the top, or they might need to like bump you up a little bit. I'm a cheerleader of any person. Like, I believe that being our best self and hitting our best numbers is the person to compete with, is ourselves. So are you showing up as your best self? And so um, I don't really think of like those people. I'm like, you do you, because you're crushing it. And oftentimes maybe they're just not hearing it enough from other people. And so I'll cheer them on and I'll compliment them, because I think every person deserves to be celebrated and encouraged. So
I
I don't
love.
really, I don't get down on competition.
So let's move forward to November of 2020. And you decided to start a coaching business.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hold on, before you go, I just have to say this. So you're raising a family
Yep.
and how big is how like when you started it in November in 2020, how big was your direct marketing or direct sales team?
Well, I would have to look back. Yeah. So, I mean, it always fluctuates. People come in, people come out, people stick around, but we usually hover around the 300 mark. It's just where we have settled.
So in November of 2020, we're raising a young family, right? Because how old are your kids?
They're 5 and 6 now.
So we're raising a small family. We're a leader of a team of approximately 300 people.
Mhm.
And then Kate goes, I think I need to start a coaching business. What? Why?
Okay, so as I mentioned, you and I had a conversation because by working 75% less and making 800% more with online sales, I had decided I was driving my team crazy.
Okay, hold on. You need to, what? Did you just say about 75 and 800? Can you
Yeah,
repeat?
so 75% less hours. So I have gotten my business down to approximately 1 to 2 hours a day to run my direct sales business. And my sales, I'm finishing out with one of my best years, and it's 100% online. And so I decided I either driving my team crazy because I have all this time and all these different ideas running through my head, like we should try this, we should try that. Or maybe I should get a full-time job, and I was offered a few jobs. And when I evaluated them, it didn't align with my values. Like over the, pros and cons list, I was like, yeah, it's money, but it's giving up summers with my kids at the beach. It's giving up the flexibility to say yes to go see my mom. It's giving up the ability to stay in my pajamas all day and work from the couch if my neck is having a bad day. So instead, called you. I was like, okay, I think I need help fleshing out an idea. And after we got off that call and I made that connection with some people that you had put me in touch with, within 3 days, we took our kind of casual, free coaching group that I had built, about 150 people, and we launched a 5-day free challenge and created impactoverimage.com and launched our official program within, I think it was like 5 or 7 days. So it was a really fast turnaround. And, when you start something new, I can remember on the Friday, and I thought, okay, it's live. I'm gonna have all these people, they're gonna sign up, and it's gonna be awesome. And then there was nothing. And like, okay, maybe I am not as good as I thought I was. So the next day, Saturday, I got my headache is happening because when I get stressed, I get a headache. So I went and laid down and I just like kind of said a little prayer. I was like, if this is the right decision, like just send me a sign. And I woke up from that nap and I had 3 people signed up for my coaching program, for my one-on-one. And it was like, okay, this is the right decision. Like you are on the right path. And since that November, our group has grown to over 1,400 members. And we're doing another launch, and we do it every quarter to focus on the season and help people really think about what are their goals, their dreams, and their plan. Because it's one thing to have a wish, right? But we want to make sure that their goal is a wish with a deadline and that they have a clear path to make it actually come to fruition. And so most people are lacking that systemization. They're lacking that plan, that concrete, okay, this is my to-do list for the day, so that they have a purpose every single day when they show up to their desk. And then that accountability to actually make it happen.
So, for those watching, before Kate started talking about her coaching program, she said she's working 75% less time in her full-time direct sales company. That's what her full-time gig is, making 800% more.
Mhm.
And this is why when Kate came to me in November, I was like, yes, you have to start coaching. What are you talking about? All these people, look at all the people you could serve and help. Because whatever you've done, it works. You have a strategy. It's duplicatable. I don't know if that's a word, but I'll make it up if it's not. But you can duplicate it. And going from a few people in your group in November into the Facebook group now being over 1,400 in May of 2021, that's significant growth. And for those who are interested, we'll put the link to the Facebook group so you can have a direct access to Kate as well. So, in your coaching program, Kate, I know already you've had, like, you started and you went, okay, I need to reset. We need to redevelop what we're doing because people came really quickly after that nap, right? So, what was that like when you were like, okay, there's a better way? How, just walk through that process a little bit of realizing that it could be working better, but then like just a couple steps, even if it's mindset related, how you took a few steps and transitioned like your coaching offers.
Yeah, I think at first is to consider what the market is and what is the appetite for what you're serving. So if, you know, I looked at all the different people around me and kind of compared what are they doing? What do I like? What did I like about this coach or that coach that I've hired in my past or this mastermind or this brainstorming group? My likes and my dislikes. I created what I felt was what was always missing for me personally, with masterminds or brainstorming groups, people change, people come and go. And then when somebody leaves, it changes the dynamic of the group because now there's that feeling of loss. Or you get such a close relationship that you kind of get worse at calling each other out on your BS because you just want to support them and you love them. So you don't want to make them feel bad. So I wanted to create a group where all of us are always different. The groups are always mixing up and it's just a come as you are. And so you always get fresh perspective. And if somebody leaves or somebody comes, it doesn't feel weird because it's a natural organic creation of the group that we have manifested. So I'm really excited that it's all different industries, it's all different companies. I feel like every group or every company has a different take on things or trying something new or different successes, but they're also usually having the same struggles. So just recently, for example, we were all experiencing like crickets in our online parties, like absolute crickets, never happens. What the heck is going on? And within one call, we were able to come up with 5 ways to get unstuck, have immediate results. And instantly from that one call, people are like, I just had a $600 event in 15 minutes. I just had a $500 event in 15 minutes. I just had, $300 and a new recruit and 3 bookings in 15 minutes. And so we were able to revolutionize the way we're doing online marketing in one call by getting all these minds together, talking about our struggles and brainstorming instantly ways to get out of that situation. That wouldn't have happened if I was sitting in my office by myself, stewing over the situation I was in, trying to feel confident enough to make another pivot.
I love that. And when you were talking about what you do as a business coach, you were talking about people's wishes and attaching them to, what did you say?
I always say a goal is a dream with a deadline.
Deadline.
And it's a quote I saw one time at a gym on the wall, and I was like, that's it, like a wish is like it's just like blowing a dandelion into the sky and just hoping that it will happen. But I really want to see dreams come to fruition. I want, if you're going to work hard, I want you to be rewarded for your effort. And so that to me is, usually people come to me and they say, I'm working so many hours and I'm getting paid only this, or my results are only here. And I feel like for that level of effort, their rewards and pay should be way up here. So oftentimes they're spending all their time on things that don't make them money. They're living in this area of like creating graphics or finding the perfect happy mail or putting labels on things, like I have a little desk over there for my assistant. She's 6 and she puts the labels on things. They're not perfect. They're
Yeah.
usually all over the place. But, I would rather spend my time connecting with people, building relationships, and doing the income producing activities that actually get your income up to here, that actually provide that growth for your team size, your business, your customer base, and your relationships.
So give me two things. I said, sorry, not four,
Two
two.
things.
Give me two things
That-
someone can do to make their wish more of a reality.
I think the first thing is decide, switch your mindset that you're a business owner, that this is not a hobby. This is not just something that is like, you know, like passing time. If you're going to show up and you're going to be a business owner, you need to treat your business like a business. So I think that's the biggest thing is believe that it's possible to produce your goal or your dream, right? And believe in yourself that you are a business owner. So that'd be number one. And I think once you have your mindset on that this is more than just something fun to kind of waste time. The second thing is really get clear on why you're doing it, because there's going to be those days when you're in the lows And if you don't really have, we always say, like, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. I don't know if it needs to be necessarily strong enough to cry. Okay. But I do think it needs to be something that you believe so much in and you are willing to show up, even on the days when, you know, the show that you're watching is calling your name and you'd rather just spend 8 hours binging on watching TV. You're going to show up and do your business for at least 5 minutes. Like, everybody has 5 minutes, whether it's sitting in the car waiting to pick up your kids from school. That's a great 5 minutes to send 5 messages. Or you're waiting in the coffee lineup and they're making your coffee. You got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes to scroll. You got 5 minutes to work. So really putting that mindset and then knowing your why, that you'll actually show up.
I love that. I love that. So now you're raising your young family, you have
Mhm.
your direct sales, and you have a coaching program. You have a coaching business. So now you're running two businesses. What kind of habits have you created to find, I don't like the word balance or structure, but to find the medium, like the happiness between all three?
Yeah, so I think it's knowing your non-negotiable. So knowing your numbers, I think, is really important. How much is the minimum that you need to earn? So that's my financial advice. Like, what do you actually need to earn for your business? And so we created a program for that. And then we created a leveling up income goal so that you can constantly shoot for more and have ideas of how to get that more income. We call them leveling up strategies, but to know your baseline non-negotiable, and then you know what you actually are really wanting to grow to, in knowing what does that mean, like how much, that really puts it into perspective, because then I can break it down and say, okay, I need this many customers to shop with me this month, or I need this many parties, or I need this average customer order amount, so that I know my threshold of what do I actually need to do to create the income that my family requires, so that then when something comes up with a family and it's like, hey, do you want to go camping for the weekend? Yeah, actually I can, because I already hit my non-negotiable. Or you know what? Yeah, I can, but that means when I get home I need to put in a little bit more time, because I need to make our non-negotiable. So it allows me that flexibility to know what do I actually require, versus just always shooting for more and forgetting to enjoy the whole reason I do this business, which is my family.
I love that. And what personal habits have you created so you keep yourself grounded and happy and energized while you're running two businesses and a family?
So for me, recently I am waiting for neck surgery. And so one thing that I need to do every day is walk. And so I decided I can't lift weights, I can't run, but I can walk. And so actually those are my best 45 minutes of every day, is I just go out there, I throw on some music or I throw on a podcast or a book and I just walk. And taking that time for myself every single day is probably the highlight. And if I don't, I'll be laying in bed and I'll pretend like I feel like my legs are like, we didn't go for a walk today, you know? So I do feel like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, it has really helped, just taking that time non negotiable for myself every single day.
That's awesome. So walking, that's awesome.
Walking and not being responsible for anyone for 45 minutes, you know? Like, I'm not responsible for my kids for 45 minutes a day, you know? I think that's important too, just to be myself.
I love that. I love that. Now, when you decided, so you have small family, you have the direct sales, and now we're going to coach. Was it hard to get the family on board or your partner on board to saying, "Hey, I want to do more"? And they like, how was that? What did it was it like, "Yeah, no problem," or was there like just because that's one thing I find is for a lot of people who want to start a side hustle, it's trying to get the family on board to agree or to be happy or to cheerlead that person on while they're building this. How did it happen for you?
Absolutely. What Because it was so fast and furious, there was a lot of long nights, you know, for the first couple of days to get it all ready to launch, to get the website up, the materials formulated. I know people who are just working on a course now to launch in September. I did all of that in 5 days. So I don't think things and draw them out. I take action. And so my husband is used to my crazy ideas. If I come up with something, he's like, okay, he just buckles up and he gets ready for the ride, and he knows it's going to be a couple of hard days or long days. Laundry might not be perfect that week. You know, the house might not be sparkling clean that week, but it always seems to produce, because he can see that it brings that energy back. It kind of brings that spark back, and just fills my cup. And in turn, after the first couple of days when it's rolling, it's like, this is so cool. And we've just diversified our income even more. And I think, that's the most important part, is through this whole crazy year, diversification has been our saving grace. Because if you have a blip, because those months happen that there's a blip, you can lean into your diversified income because you've got other avenues to produce income. And so I really love when you say, once you get one gig, it's great to have a side gig. And once that side gig becomes a full-time gig, I mean, you can create another side gig. And I think that evolution of your finances kind of keeps it fresh, but also keeps it viable and sustainable and continues to grow.
I love that you move fast. You're like, all right, 5 days, let's go. And I bring that up because you've mentioned it a couple times. And I want to know, do you have a secret, or what is it that makes you take action fast? Because I find this is where a lot of people are stuck. Is
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, I'm going to start that course now, and we'll launch it in September, and you're like but you're like, let's go.
They might, but I feel as though, like, that's why I went with impact over image. Like, I would rather make an impact on somebody's life in a positive fashion and give them, the belief or the tools or the skills, to get from where they are to where they want to go, without it being perfect. If I was to have stayed and perfected my system from the beginning, it probably wouldn't be as good as it is today, because I wouldn't have had the input and the evolution. Like, I love the live launch. Create something as you're launching it, tweak it, adjust it, pivot, whatever you need to do. Like, that is more effective because it's real time and it's going to be a better product. So I agree, like, one-on-one coaching is really rewarding to see people level up and to see them hit that promotion or earn that income or whatnot. But group coaching, the masterminds. And so, and then there's the people who just want to do it on their own. And that's totally cool too. So everyone has their different style, but I say progress, not perfection, right? Don't worry about how it looks or what other people will think, or is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Just try, because if it's aligned with where you're going, the worst case is it didn't work out, but at least you tried and you probably learned something that will help you move further along than just waiting and sitting back and hoping that one day your needle will move. It's not going to move unless you move it.
So part of your secret sauce is not trying to perfect things, not to let perfection overtake the progress that can happen.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I have one last question before we wrap up. If you could go back in time and talk to your 20-year-old self, 20-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh, uh, ooh, honestly, I would probably just say, like, don't let anyone dull your sparkle.
Mm,
There's going to be lots of people along the way that say you're too young, you can't do this, that, that industry is a scam or whatever, like, just be yourself, be you, right? Be inspired, be empowered to just believe that, like, we are our own person, and don't let anyone dull that. Like, just be you.
I love that. So, just before I let you go, is there anything else? This is your time. Tell this amazing community anything you want, any tips, tricks, thoughts, empowerment, inspiration. Have at it, Kate. What do you want to say to wrap this up?
Probably where you're going right now, or where you think you're going, you're probably not aiming high enough to your fullest potential. So I'm going to say, cut out the noise, stop for a second, reflect everything that is good and bad going on, and really try to elevate the good and the things that are going to lift you higher. And if you don't have that group or that network or that support, like, come find it, because you're worth it. Your income is only going to grow because of you leaning forward. Leaning back is not going to get you anywhere. So lean in to your dreams, okay? Lean into your goals. Believe in yourself and what you have to give, and then surround yourself by people who are going to continue to lift you up and help you get there.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I wish I could hug you, like virtual hug.
I know. Virtual.
Have we ever met in person
Yes, once. Yeah.
in Toronto?
Way back in Winnipeg,
Oh,
Manitoba,
Winnipeg.
at
Oh, that's right.
lunch.
We spoke in
And I got
Winnipeg.
a picture with you the day that I met
Oh,
you.
yeah, you
Yeah.
just send me that picture, okay?
Okay.
Maybe we'll post it in this. Well, thank you so much, Kate, for sharing all of your wisdom, your wealth of knowledge, especially your story, because you are someone who has literally proven to other people that your dreams are possible, even during a pandemic. And if you can grow something during a pandemic, I believe in business you can do anything. So, Kate, I just really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time today. And for those watching, you can connect with Kate with the links that I've put in the description below. Just let Kate know where you found her. Tell her you saw her on Loose YouTube channel, and I know she'll open the doors for you with open arms. And she's just so passionate and loving, and it's pretty amazing, her journey. And you have so much more to do, Kate, which is amazing.
Thank you
So
so
thanks so
much.
much for being on my YouTube channel today.
Yeah. Thank you.